If you like classical architecture and tortured screaming, you're in luck.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Building Naboo and Lego. So we are now on update number 4. So we're just going to be continuing on from where we left off in part 3. So I haven't really done much since then, apart from I've sort of been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these statues. So I've tried a few different designs and nothing's really worked. So at the moment I'm thinking I'll just use a minifigure all in dark tan and use some of these sort of cloth pieces. So like this cloth piece which was from Qui-Gon Jinn, and the waist piece which was from the Ewok Village layer. So that kind of creates the sort of robe effects, and that hair piece is from the general layer, like the Resistance era sort of layer. So I've ordered some more parts on Bricklink, and I've also ordered the lights, so that way we can get the lights done for under there, and also for the other part here. And then when we get into the hanger section, we'll have all the lights we need for that. For now, until those parts arrive, we'll start working on this next section here. So I've just been working out where the sort of hallway that kind of leads on from here will be. So I've been outlining the edges here, and then we'll start building up these areas, and the walls will go all the way to the base plate here, and that will be where the divider is. It's like this section will be separate from the sort of next room area to make it easier for transport. So let's get into a time lapse where we'll start building up this area. Here's a bit of an update. I've built the doorway here on this side, and I've also started building this little column bit. So in this part of the hallway, there's 4 of these. There's 1, 2, and there's also 1 here and 1 there. And they sort of stick out from the wall, and they've got that little sort of indent going up and down. So that's the sort of design that I've made there. And that just sort of fits on there on a jumper plate, like that. So now that I've got the design of this right, I can work out how I build the wall around it, since the 2 sort of walls of the different sections are going to be built at the same time. As if I was to do that part and then work on this part, there would either be like a split where the pieces don't overlap, or if I do the whole wall now, then I can join the pieces together and the wall will be a lot stronger. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So now that I've got that design sort of finished off, I can keep on building the wall up around it. So I thought I'd show you how I did this pillar design and how it's got the groove in the middle. So basically what I did is I've got a stack of 1x2 bricks, and then there's 3 rows of these 1x1 bricks with the studs on 2 adjacent sides. So that way there's studs showing on both the front and on both sides. And then on the front I put one of these, just 2 by plates, 13 long, with some tiles on the front. So that just goes onto the front like that. And then on either side is a row of 1x1 tiles with a mixture of 1x1 plates and also 2x plates, 2x2 plates with the half tile, half plate, so that way they can attach onto the tiles like that. And then there's also that little bit that sticks out, so that way they can attach onto the studs there, like so. And then that part there sort of sticks out the front, and it comes out slightly further, which creates that sort of little groove for the tiles. And then at the bottom is a 1x2 brick. So on the other side is the same but opposite, and that just goes onto the other side. And the bricks at the bottom meet, so that way there's like that little bit there, like a little ledge there. And the tiles are like imprinted in by about a bracket width. made some good progress in this room now. So all that's missing are the grey lines along here. So I'm still waiting on some tiles for that. And then the pillar that goes on this side, and the lights that go in those 4 holes. And then in this room, it's now completely done. So all the walls are all done now. And now I just need to work on the second layer, like I have the other side. So I think I'll wait for the lights to arrive before I do that, so that way I can wire up all the lights and everything before I get into actually finishing it like I did that side. So while I wait for the pieces to arrive to finish off the rest of this area, I'm going to start building up the foundation area along here. So let's get into a time lapse. So I've started the foundation and I left this gap along here since I knew the floor design that I was going to do needed to be a little bit lower, sort of like how I did those other areas. So I left those gaps and then I went on to designing what I wanted, and that's what I ended up doing. So this is the sort of design at the sort of back of where the Naboo fighters go. So there's 2 of these, one for each sort of section of where the Naboo fighters park. So it's sort of a bit of a arch design. So these 4 wedge parts, they're all dark bluish grey, and they've got the lines going in, and all around is light bluish grey. So just imagine this, but all the sort of brown, tan, and dark bluish grey at the top and bottom are light bluish grey. And as you can see over here, that's the little sort of gap I left for that. And now I've come to design it in real life, and I realised that I need to take out some of these, as basically these plates would need to be tiles for the plates on top to sit on top of. So now what I've got to do is take out all of these, which are 6x6 plates, so like all the ones along here and here, and replace them with 4x6 plates, so that way they don't come out quite as far. And then I'll have room to basically put this design in there a little bit lower. So I'm going to do that now. So I've done this side now, so it's basically all 2 studs shorter, so you can compare it to the other side. That's what the other side is like, and that's what that one's like. So now I've got to do the same thing with this side, and it should be a bit easier since the wall isn't built up quite as much here. So let's get into that. So I've got the first one of these in now. So this is what it looks like underneath. So it's basically just tiled underneath, and then on top is all the pieces sort of just laying on their sides. So it's got this main design here, which is 2x3 plates and 1x2 plates, and then it's sort of pushed down on the side, so that way it kind of curves around. So here's an example of that technique. So it uses 2x3 plates with 1x2 plates stacked on like the side, and then basically you just push down like that, and it creates this curved effect. So that's what I've used there. And then around the sides I just sort of wedged in these 1x2 slopes all around the sides just to fill in the gaps. And then the rest of the floor will just be tiled like the rest of the hallway was. So with these tiles here, and then the top of those tiles line up with the sort of top of the plates, so that way it's nice and flush. And all these outside pieces are going to be light bluish grey. Like that blue, the brown and the tan will all be light bluish grey. So there'll be one more of these here, and then the same on the other side, so there'll be the two there. Alright, so I've now done the second one of these, and you may be wondering why I've got these rows of dark grey, and that is because there's going to be two rows going down of these grill tiles. So when you put the grill tile down, you can see underneath there's just like the dark grey, whereas if I was to use like a tan colour, you'd be able to see the tan through the grills. So that way when I have all the rows, it'll just look sort of normal, it won't have like the bright colours underneath. So now that I've worked out these designs, like the little buttons in the floor here, I'm going to tile off the rest of the floor as much as I can for now. So let's get into that. Well, I got some more parts in today. So I got a whole bunch of tan pieces, some 1x4 bricks, 1x6 plates, a mixture of different tiles, and these Technic 1x2 bricks with the holes, and also some light bluish grey tiles, some more of these 1x2 bricks with the sort of lines going up and down and side to side, and a few other bits and pieces. And I also got my order of lights in. So I've ordered a whole bunch of these lights, so some of these sort of stud ones. So what they are is, like, they use a stud, they drill a hole into the side of it, and they sort of put a light in. So I got some of those, some flashing lights, and some cylindrical lights. So these cylindrical ones will be used for the lights that are on the walls, and the studs will be for the ones on the ground. And I also got two of these sort of 1x4 plates that have the lights in them. So I've put one of them in just temporarily for now. So if you look under there, it's quite dark. And then I turn on the light, and you can see. So I think that looks a lot better now. So you can actually see in there properly now. So I'll give you a view on this side without the lights. So it's quite dark. So I think having these lights will definitely make the MOC a whole lot better. So these particular lights are the Glowbricks lights, which are in Australia. And one of the things I thought I was going to be able to do with them is fit this little plug through a Technicolor like this. So I thought they advertised that they would be able to fit through, but they cannot. So you can see it almost fits, but not quite. So what I did was they gave me a free little street lamp, and what I did was I cut the corners off. So as you can see on this one, the corners are a bit more rounded off, so it's more of like an octagon sort of shape. So by doing that, you can then fit it through the Technicolor, and that allows you to sort of hide the wires through a Technicolor if you wanted to. So now that I've got these lights, I'll properly install the one on the bottom of there, and then I can also start on the other side. And I think what I'll do is I'll have the wire going through like the floor, so it'll sort of go up into the floor and then run along and then down into here, and then it'll sort of go down and through the holes in there, and then it can come out sort of through the bottom here, and that way the wires can remain mostly unseen. And with the order of pieces I got, I was able to finish off this side of the wall. So now all these grey lines are in there, so that all looks good. Same as the other side now. And I was also able to replace these 1x2 tiles in reddish brown, so now they're the right colour. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wire up this light. So I'm going to have to take this sort of section off and pull off the bottom parts, put the wire through, put them back on, and then this whole section can go on, hopefully for the last time, and I won't have to change it again. So let's get into a time lapse. Right, so I've now added in the light, and the wire goes through the ceiling and then it comes down, and you'll be able to see the wire here. So it's a very thin wire there, and that goes from the ceiling up there and it comes down into the floor, and then it sort of comes down and out this way, and then it comes up here. So I've added an extension wire to it, so that way it's a bit longer, and then it connects to this USB here, and then when I plug that into the power, like this, it turns on. So now that that's all set up, I can finish all the top area, and then we'll get on to the other side. Alright, so now I've finished this sort of corner area of the wall, and I've also done a bit more work on this center pillar sort of bit. So I've got the design I want now. I just have to swap out some of the pieces for tan, some of these like 1x3 tiles, and also there's a couple of 1x1 bricks with the studs on the sides. Now that that's done, I've also figured out where I want the door, so that's where the door is going to go. So now I'm going to build up the walls around the doorway. So let's get into that. Alright, and here we have it. So I've more or less finished this whole upper section now, apart from a few colours that need to be swapped out, like this orange piece here to tan, and there's a couple of pieces in the doorway that need to be black. But apart from that, it's more or less done. The only thing I'm really not happy about is this statue. So at the moment I'm just using that minifigure with the cloth sort of pieces, but it still doesn't quite look right. I'll put up a picture here of what it should look like, so hopefully I'll be able to figure out something for that. Or if anyone has any ideas of what I should use, leave a comment below. So now that we've finished this area, I'm going to start on the other side. So let's get into that. Alright, I've now built the base of the upper layer, and I've outlined where I need to leave gaps for the plates on their sides. So that's where those go, and the rest of it will just be the normal sort of floor area, so I'll just have to build that up a bit. And I've installed the light into here, so when I plug it in like that, it lights up underneath, just like the other side. So the wire for that will sort of go across, and then under this floor area, down into here, and then it will sort of go down into there, and then come out the bottom. So far it's going well, so let's keep on going. And here we have the finished floor of this upper section. So that's basically all the tiling and also this little sort of raised bit done. And all I need to do now is the walls around the edges and also this doorway. So I think that's going to be all for this video. We've made quite a bit of progress, both finishing off this area over here, starting here, and also starting on this sort of hanger area. And the lights have also been a nice addition. They really make it a lot better. So let me know in the comments what you think. In the next update we should be finished, or more or less finished, this top area, and hopefully we can make some good progress on this next area. So thanks for watching, stay tuned for the next update, which will be out in the next week or two, and I'll see you on the next one.